Trump may be open to a meeting with Mojtaba Khamenei, but Washington is also preparing for the toughest phase of nuclear negotiations with Iran. A quiet visit by Trump's top envoys to Tennessee has raised questions about why the administration is consulting some of America's leading nuclear experts. The proposed Iran deal appears to be entering a critical stage, as U.S. officials work behind the scenes on potential nuclear arrangements and verification plans. Experts at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory have reportedly been brought into discussions, fueling speculation that a major breakthrough with Iran could be closer than before. Days after floating the possibility of talks with Iran's leadership, Trump's team reportedly turned to nuclear experts for consultations on the road ahead. Trump envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner visited Oak Ridge in Tennessee, according to reports, drawing attention to the administration's nuclear planning efforts. The visit was reportedly aimed at preparing for potential nuclear negotiations with Iran as diplomatic contacts continue behind the scenes. Oak Ridge is home to some of America's leading specialists in uranium enrichment and centrifuge technology, making it a key hub for nuclear expertise. The consultations come at a time when U.S. Iran negotiations remain stalled over several critical issues. Washington is reportedly pushing for a memorandum of understanding that could provide a framework for future engagement with Tehran. The White House hopes such efforts could help reduce tensions and advance progress on the nuclear file. Meanwhile, Iran has insisted that the ball is in Trump's court when it comes to securing a possible agreement. Tehran is seeking access to frozen Iranian assets as part of any future deal with Washington. Iran also maintains that it has the right to enrich uranium and continues to deny pursuing nuclear weapons. President Donald Trump, however, has repeatedly insisted that Iran must never be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon. The United States is also seeking strict limits on Iran's future enrichment activities as negotiations remain deadlocked. U.S. officials say the negotiations have entered a very serious phase, even as major differences between Washington and Tehran remain unresolved. Reports suggest that a team of around 100 experts has been assembled to support the next stage of potential nuclear negotiations. The group could be deployed if the United States and Iran reach a preliminary understanding on the framework of a future agreement. These experts would be tasked with designing a technical framework for managing and monitoring Iran's nuclear material. Another key challenge would be determining the future of Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium under any prospective deal. Tehran is believed to possess hundreds of pounds of highly enriched uranium, a central issue in the ongoing negotiations. Iran, however, continues to insist that its nuclear program is peaceful and maintains that it is not seeking nuclear weapons. The Oak Ridge consultation suggests that Washington is actively preparing for the possibility of a future agreement with Tehran. Several experts involved in the meeting reportedly participated in previous nuclear talks with Iran in Oman. Others have experience handling complex nuclear material transfers, including the movement of enriched uranium from Venezuela. Despite the preparations, U.S. officials caution that a final agreement with Iran remains far from guaranteed. For now, significant gaps continue to separate Washington and Tehran on some of the most critical demands in the negotiations. U.S. President Donald Trump's potential plan to meet Mojtaba Khamenei may not materialize anytime soon, as major hurdles continue to stand in the way. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi dismissed speculation about a possible Trump-Khamenei meeting, signaling that Tehran is not yet on board. Araghchi was responding to recent remarks made by U.S. President Donald Trump regarding direct engagement with Iran's leadership. Trump said he would be honored to meet Iran's Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei, describing it as a potential diplomatic breakthrough. The U.S. president suggested that such a meeting could take place in the future, if the right conditions emerge. Trump linked the possibility of a face-to-face meeting to progress in the ongoing negotiations between Washington and Tehran.
We've heard that you want to meet with the new Ayatollah, the new Supreme Leader.
I don't want to meet, but if I did meet, I'd be honored to meet him. I'd like to see if we make a deal.
Okay.
But if we make a deal, it's possible that I would meet him. I'd be okay with it.
Would that happen here in the U.S., White House?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't really heard too much about it. It's not, I didn't suggest it, but some people have suggested it. If it happened, it would happen. I'd be respectful.
Do you think because Epic Fury killed his dad and his wife and his kid that he's got hard feelings and wouldn't want to meet?
Well, I would say I'm not his favorite person, but With that being said, he's probably I don't know. He's probably a professional. In some circles, he has a very good reputation, actually. Sometimes some people say bad, but a lot of people say bad about me. It's totally false, of course.
Speaking to Al Mayadeen, Iran's top diplomat Abbas Araghchi urged observers to remain realistic about expectations surrounding U.S. Iran diplomacy. "I think we should live in the real world," Araghchi said during the interview, tempering speculation about a major diplomatic breakthrough. The remarks underscore Tehran's skepticism about the prospects of a high-level summit taking place anytime soon. Washington, however, has repeatedly signaled its interest in direct engagement with Iran's leadership. Trump has continued to push for a broader agreement that addresses both regional security concerns and Iran's nuclear program. The U.S. president recently stated that diplomatic contacts between Washington and Tehran remain ongoing. Trump has also voiced optimism that the two sides could eventually reach a breakthrough despite persistent tensions. Iran and the United States, however, remain divided on key issues including sanctions and regional security arrangements. Sharp disagreements also continue over the future direction and scope of Iran's nuclear program. The latest exchange comes after months of instability and heightened tensions across the Middle East.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.